Good evening, and welcome to the Durham District School Board meeting of Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. I'd like to call this meeting to order. The Durham District School Board acknowledges that many Indigenous nations have long-standing relationships, both historic and modern, with the territories upon which our school board and schools are located. Today, this area is home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island. We acknowledge that the Durham region forms a part of the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, the Mississauga peoples, and the treaty territory of the Chippewas of Georgina Island First Nation. It is on these ancestral and treaty lands that we teach, learn, and live. I'd like to call on Trustee Miller to introduce our guests this evening, and then afterwards, Trustee Edwards will express appreciation.
Today, we are excited to welcome a recorded musical performance from the students at Rosemary Brown Public School in Ajax. Please enjoy the melodious sound of O Canada, performed by the Intermediate Steel Pan Band, made up of hard-working students Parina, Hasina, Asmita, Janisha, and Noreen, under the guidance of teacher Joshua Golan. After O Canada, we'll hear the Junior Intermediate Choir, conducted by teacher Jillian Davis, as they perform Lift Every Voice and Sing, a song written by James Weldon Johnson that is deeply rooted in the history and culture of many people across the African diaspora. Please rise for O Canada.
Keep on marching, fighting till the victory is won. Hold your head up, brother, till the victory is won. believe me, sister, till the victory is won. Till that day comes, let us march on, till victory is won. Is won.
On behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, we want to thank the students and the staff at Rosemary Brown Public School for their work in preparing performance tonight. And I know for a fact that when I had visited Rosemary Brown, when it comes to some of the scores for the steel pan drums, that the teachers actually write the scores because they don't exist. So I really thank and appreciate what they do. And we hope that to have another performance in the future.
Are there any declarations of interest? Seeing none, there are no declarations of interest at this time. Could I have a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda as distributed? Trustee Linton, Trustee Miller. The agenda is approved as distributed. I'd like now to call on Vice Chair Deb Oldfield to deliver our message from the Board of Trustees.
Thank you, and through you, Chair. The Durham District School Board is dedicated to advancing equity and dismantling all forms of racism and discrimination. This commitment is reflected in our human rights, anti-discrimination, and anti-racism policies, as well as our actions and ongoing efforts to foster safe, equitable, and inclusive learning and working environments where students and staff of all identities and backgrounds are welcomed and supported. Our dedication extends to the communities we serve. It is an integral part of our guiding principles and a shared responsibility among students, staff, and community members. We recognize that fostering an environment of inclusion and respect is essential for the success and well-being of everyone in our schools. To achieve this, we are actively working to address systemic inequities and create a culture of belonging. This involves continuous reflection, education, and action. We engage in professional development, implement inclusive curriculum, and encourage open dialogue and learning opportunities. These efforts are designed to ensure that all members of our community feel valued and respected. Our commitment also extends to other identities that have historically experienced inequitable treatment. We stand against homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and all other forms of discrimination. We understand that this is an ongoing journey, and we are dedicated to making continuous progress. We invite all members of our community to join us in this important work. Together, we can build a school environment where diversity is celebrated and every individual has the opportunity to thrive. The DDSB is committed to continuing its efforts to dismantle racism and discrimination and ensuring that our schools are places where all students and staff can succeed and feel a true sense of belonging. This is our shared responsibility, and together we can make a lasting difference.
Thank you. Item 6 on the agenda is around consent items. Is there any objection to the matters listed in section 6 of the agenda being approved or adopted as noted on the agenda? And I'm seeing none. Those items are approved or adopted as noted on the agenda. Moving on to item 7. And I'd now like to call on Director Camille Williams-Taylor for the ministry memorandums and information update.
Thank you, through you, Chair. Good evening and welcome. On May 16th, the Durham Black Educators Network hosted the 12th annual Student Success Awards ceremony, recognizing and celebrating the success of 108 student nominees. 19 elementary and secondary school recipients ultimately received awards that included monetary support towards post-secondary education or other personal interests and endeavors. Each year, as a part of the ceremony, the DBEN Educator Award is presented to an involved and caring adult who consistently upholds the DBEN mandate in their school and community. This year's recipient is Michelle Jackson Stewart, Vice Principal at Glen Street Public School. Congratulations to Michelle. Last Friday, the Minister of Education announced approval of DDSB's capital priorities request to build 3 new elementary schools, 2 in West Whitby and 1 in North Oshawa. In addition to other major projects in various stages of construction, we're pleased to share that these 3 new schools represent space for over 1,800 elementary students in West Whitby and North Oshawa combined, and 1 new childcare. We will share more details with families and school communities as these projects progress. This is the time of year when Durham Forest Environmental Education Center gears up for another summer of fun, learning, and adventure for students aged 7 to 12 through day camp. Operated by the DDSB, the Durham Forest Environmental and Education Center facility is located just south of Uxbridge in a camp-like setting. Each week of camp will feature outdoor and experiential learning activities designed to inspire, educate, and reconnect children to the world around them. Interested families can visit the DDSB website to register. On the evening of May 30th, the 3rd annual Student Art Gallery opening takes place here at the Education Center and will feature a collection of works created and curated by DDSB students in grades 7 to 12 with staff support. The theme of this year's gallery is My Journey, My Joy, My Genius, and students were encouraged to showcase their unique perspectives and experiences about connection and community. For those unable to attend the opening in person, a digital gallery will be available on our website. On May 6th, 46 DDSB students participated in the Skills Ontario competition, showcasing their talents in competition in robotics, web design, carpentry, and more. Trustee Morton is a long-standing attendee and supporter and will share a few words about the DDSB's participation in this year's competition. I'll turn it to you, Trustee Morton.
Thank you, and through you, Chair. I want everyone to be aware of the tremendous involvement and success level of our students in the skills competition. We are all very proud of the level of engagement and the recognition which our students have realized. When I mention skills competition, I should explain that those skills involve 3D printing, animation, agriculture, landscaping, construction, green energy, photography, tech design, robotics, automotive, and many, many more. The range of skills is very broad. In fact, there are 32 competition categories. At our regional competition held at the Tribute Center in Oshawa on April the 4th, 61 different elementary schools were represented. And from that competition, 32 of our elementary students went to compete at the provincial level at the Toronto Congress Center. That was on May the 6th. Those elementary schools competing provincially were Beaver River, Coronation, David Bouchard, Prince Albert, Sir William Stevenson, and William Dunbar. We offer special congratulations to the junior robotics team from Coronation. They won gold for the province. At the secondary level, we had 46 students from 12 different high schools competing at the provincial level. Those students represent all areas: Oshawa, Whitby, Ajax, Pickering, and the North. Our secondary students came home with 8 medals, including 2 gold. Marius Sassu from Maxwell Heights won gold for photography. Tina Jiang and Sunny Huang from Donald A. Wilson won gold for their 2D animation, and they'll be representing Ontario later this month at the Nationals. Also, Port Perry won a silver for auto service and a silver for electrical installations. A student from Brooklyn High School won silver for the job skills demonstration, and a team from Donald A. Wilson won again silver for 2D animation. Coming away with bronze medals were a team of 4 from Port Perry High School for home building and a young woman from Henry Street for architecture. That student was also presented with a special award for women in male-dominated fields like construction. Amazing. We congratulate all participants and all award winners. We're also very thankful for all the mentors and all the educators who have contributed to the wonderful success stories of our students. Some individuals that I also want to recognize are Jillian Broadley, the high skills facilitator for secondary schools, and Richard Bishop, he's the facilitator for elementary schools. Their strong efforts in developing and building and promoting this program are greatly appreciated. I just thought we need to recognize and acknowledge the contributions of our staff and our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Morton. We're now on item 8, public question period. Each question being asked this evening will be displayed on screen along with its response from staff. Questioners are reminded to ask only their approved question. We have allocated up to 30 minutes for this public question period, and a timer will be visible for all participants. All approved questions, along with their corresponding answers from staff, will be posted on the Durham District School Board website following this meeting. All questions submitted for public question period will be shared with trustees following the meeting. I would like to invite Dylan Reynolds to ask a question virtually, which will then be responded to by Associate Director David Wright. Dylan, whenever you are ready.
All right, good evening, everybody.
Go ahead, Dylan, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. My question tonight is about the high enrollment at Valley Farm Public School in Pickering, Ontario. From 2012 to 2024, Valley Farm's enrollment went from about 200 to 300 students to 600 students in 2024. So I'm wondering, what is driving the high enrollment growth at Valley Farm Public School, and when will a new elementary school be built in the Brock Road and Third Concession area in Pickering, Ontario, or boundary review to take place at Valley Farm Public School?
Good evening, Dylan. Thank you for the question. Valley Farm's enrollment is actually a little bit higher. I think it currently sits at around 800 students. And this is because it is a holding school for quite a few students who will be attending the unnamed Coughlin Public School, which is scheduled to open September 2025 at Standardville Drive and Hearst Drive in Ajax. This new school opening is projected to reduce the number of students at Valley Farm Public School to around 560. Additionally, we are currently in the process of constructing unnamed Pickering Seton Elementary School near Burkholder Drive and Azalea Avenue, which is scheduled to open in September 2026. Though we do forecast additional growth in North Pickering and the additional need for new schools, we don't have a timeline at this point for when future schools may be approved, built, or opened.
Well, I do want to say that last week I turned 21. It was my 21st birthday on May 13th of 2024.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. That concludes public question period, and we'll now move on to agenda item 9, good news from the system. I'll call on Director Camille Williams-Taylor.
Thank you, Chair, and through you, it's always a delight to highlight the activities and undertakings in the district. And so, as always, we do have a video representation, and I will ask our media team to press play.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of DDSB students and staff, we are happy to bring you good news from across the system.
For 2 years, the Practical Learning Program PLP class at Port Perry High School has excelled as a team, delivering the SCUGOG standard while developing vital pre-vocational skills. They've embraced the opportunity to learn time management, communication, and pedestrian safety, while also showing appreciation for the community. A heartwarming welcome occurred when a household reciprocated their gratitude with a touching message saying PLP rocks, leaving the students and staff deeply touched.
Shalom Durham, in collaboration with the DDSB, orchestrated a meaningful PASAC mock Seder at the Education Center on April 11th. The event attracted numerous families from the DDSB community alongside staff from the district. Attendees were treated to an array of kosher culinary delights. The event provided a unique opportunity for guests to delve into the significance of Passover traditions, guided by engaging discussions, traditional songs, and interactive activities.
On Saturday, April 6th, Gina Hook, head of modern languages at Donald A. Wilson, was awarded the 2024 Helen B. St. John Award by the Ontario Modern Languages Teachers Association. This award recognizes an outstanding teacher of modern languages and acknowledges the support and inspiration they provide. Gina has been teaching languages with the DDSB for over 20 years. Congratulations, Gina.
Black male students across the district once again attended this year's Cypher Conference, hosted at the Durham College and Ontario Tech University. 96 schools attended this year's conference, including 440 students and 140 staff, alongside the participation of 20 community partners. Cypher is designed to bring together Black male students currently attending grades 7 to 10 to offer them a unique opportunity to network with entrepreneurs and community leaders.
Over 365 grade 6 to 8 girls from across the DDSB who self-identify as Black were joined by 20 inspiring community-based role models at the Empower Her conference. This dynamic gathering was a celebration of empowerment and possibility. The mission of the conference was to ignite the spark of goal setting, guiding each attendee toward unlocking their boundless potential and stepping into their roles as leaders and changemakers within their communities.
Close to 300 students from across Durham region are gearing up for graduation, thanks to the DRPS and DDSB's Gowns for Grads event held at GL Roberts CVI. The event saw volunteers and police officers coming together to provide invaluable assistance to students in selecting their graduation attire, including dresses, shoes, and accessories. For those who needed alterations to achieve their perfect fit, students from Brooklyn High School generously offered their expertise, ensuring every attendee felt confident and comfortable in their graduation attire.
The Ignite Durham Learning Foundation received generous donations from the City of Pickering and the Ajax Partnership Fund. These donations will give IDLF the ability to support Durham students facing food insecurity with culturally relevant food and basic needs. DDSB is proud to announce IDLF was chosen as the charity of choice this year. IDLF is recognized for their profound impact and commitment to DDSB students. Congratulations to Alexia Lati, a gifted grade 8 student at Pringle Creek Public School, on her national accolade. At 13 years old, Alexia won a silver medal at the Canadian U15 National Wrestling Championship in Mississauga. Alexia is an active student participating in volleyball, wrestling, and track and field, among other activities. Way to go, Alexia.
Brooklyn High School teacher, Miss Mapp, planned the trip of a lifetime for grade 12 Introduction to Anthropology, Psychology, and Sociology students to attend the special convocation of Dr. Jane Goodall. Dr. Goodall, the internationally recognized primatologist and anthropologist, was awarded an honorary doctorate from York University. Thank you to York University and Miss Mapp for giving our students this unique opportunity to hear from Dr. Goodall, share experiences, wisdom, and hope.
As you can see, the dates of significance take us to the next board meeting.
Thank you to Aditi and Shyamalan from Donald A. Wilson Secondary School for reading this month's good news.
Thank you. And moving on to item 10 on the agenda, recommended actions, and I'll call on General Counsel Patrick Cotter for the Director of Education Performance Appraisal Policy.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Thatcher, the report can be found at page 12 of the package. This report outlines the fact that the Ontario government made Ontario Regulation 8324 under the Education Act on March the 4th, which proposed, which required changes to our Director of Education Performance Review Policy. Those changes were presented to the Governance and Policy Committee meeting held on April 24th, and the policy was approved by the committee to come to the Board of Trustees at this meeting, subject to some minor revisions that were discussed at the committee level, and I undertook to make those changes in the policy that would come to the board this evening. Those changes are summarized in Section 3 of the analysis. To match the language of the regulation, the word review was changed to the word appraisal throughout the document, including the name of the committee. So it would now be the Director's Performance Appraisal Committee. There was a section 4.1.4 revised to provide for the reestablishment of members on the committee if we drop below the threshold. The 360 performance review questionnaire was revised to a more generic term of questionnaire. Reference to the member in the dispute resolution section was revised to make it clear that it's reference to a panel member, not to a member of the Board of Trustees, and there was some additional grammatical and housekeeping changes made, and the policy is contained at pages 14 to 20 of the agenda package. Subject to any questions you may have, that is the report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Cotter. Are there any questions? And I'm seeing none. So moving on to item 11 on the agenda, information items.
Madam Chair, there is a recommended action. I'm sorry I didn't highlight that in the report. That we would approve, that the board would approve and adopt the draft policy set out in the agenda package.
And that would be on page 13. So we're looking for a trustee to put forward that recommended action. Trustee Pinello, will you put that forward?
Thank you, through you, Chair. Yes, I'll put forward the recommended action as listed in 6.0 on page 13 of this report. Thank you.
Looking for a seconder? Trustee Linton? Is there any discussion? And I'm seeing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. So now I'm moving on to item 11, information items. Looking at item 11B, the Special Education Advisory Committee approved minutes from March 21st, 2024, and April 3rd, 2024. The trustees who sit on the SEAC committee are trustees Michelle Arsenault, trustee Donna Edwards, and trustee Kelly Miller, and someone will be putting forward that information item. Trustee Edwards.
Thank you. As Chair Thatcher had mentioned, that there's actually 3 sets of, if you wish, minutes from 3 different meetings. One was for the regular March 21st meeting. Then we held 2 other meetings, one to actually discuss and be informed around finance, the board finance, and the process of budgets and budget approvals. At that point in time, there was no additional information available to the committee at the time to actually discuss existing budget, but we went through what is previously called the Grants for Students' Needs and the various special education funding profiles envelopes, and which is now called the CSF, student funding, the core student funding. I'll get there, they changed things just to confuse us, I think. So we had that sort of review in order for preparation to do feedback on the budget that is going to be presented at the next budget meeting. We also then went into we had our second meeting that day to discuss around the planning of a session that's going to be held hosted by SEAC to parents around IEPs, and the actual date was selected that I believe it's October 1st, 2024. So we're looking at further fleshing that out and looking forward to having that out to parents so that they can provide informative sessions around the IEP process. And then I just also wanted to make a note that at our original meeting, we did have a couple of presentations around the Black Youth Compendium, as well as around student census and anti-oppression planning, consultation. And that is my report. Thank you.
I'd like to call on Trustee Miller.
From SEAC, there is one recommendation for a SEAC membership addition, and I would like to make the motion. I move that the Board of Trustees approve the SEAC recommendation that the Association of Easter Seals Ontario be approved for SEAC membership, and that Allison Emer be the representative and Olivia be the alternate.
And that item has been included in the consent agenda and already approved. Thank you. Moving on to item 11C. Trustee Cunningham is not in attendance this evening, I believe. Trustee Cunningham? Are you joining us virtually? May I call on Trustee Miller to bring forward the minutes from the approved Governance and Policy Committee meeting of March 27th?
I can probably speak to that.
Thank you, Councillor Fowler.
Madam Chair, as I am the staff liaison on the committee. So just for the information of the Board of Trustees, the approved minutes from the March 27th meeting are found in the agenda package at page 41 to 46, and they're included for your information. Any policies that have been approved would be coming to the board separately as part of the consent agenda. And have probably already been dealt with in that fashion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Connor. I'd like to draw your attention to the memo provided by Director Williams-Taylor. It can be found on page 47 to 48 around the EQAO assessments for information purposes. Also, we have the days of significance found on pages 49 and 50. As there is no further business, this meeting is adjourned.